What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm Reoz. We are back here on a Thursday for a pretty small MLB main slate here. We got about 5 games on this main slate. Uh, I know the board doesn't have a lot of guys out, but I have 2 guys that I feel very confident about, and I will be breaking into those in a little bit. But first off, if you haven't used Prize Picks yet, Prize Picks is an awesome site. You can mix and match player props. You can do 2 legs, 3 legs, all the way up to 6 and 25x. So if you haven't signed up yet, use promo code Upstate. It will match you dollar for dollar up to $100. And also check out the Patreon. We had an amazing night over on the Patreon. We went 2-0 in MLB, and we went 4-1 in NBA in the play-in game. So really awesome night. Dale hit a great 3-pick power. I went 1-1. Unfortunately, I had Shea over his assists, and he just fell short. But we're firing out a ton of plays over on the Patreon. It's going to be linked in the description below. $15 a month. Highly recommend checking it out. You can also find it at patreon.com/upstate. So let's dive right into these picks. I got 2 guys in the hitter fantasy score. 2 guys that I really love, and the first guy I want to talk about here is George Springer, and this is somebody that has really been playing great baseball. If you look here in his last 5, 4 out of the last 5, averaging 11 in his last 5 games for the fantasy score, 80%, and he's got a really great matchup here, going against these Tigers who are already playing really bad baseball to start the season. And if you look in the last 2 games he's had against the Tigers, he had 8 fantasy score and 14 fantasy score. And now he's going against a pretty awful pitcher in Spencer Turnbull. And yes, that is his last name, or I butchered it, which is fine. But so far in his 2 starts, he has a 13 ERA, which is pretty awful. He's giving up a ton of runs every single game. And this is definitely not the team you want to be facing when you're really struggling on the mound. I mean, this whole lineup is pretty menacing between Boucher, between Vladimir Guerrero and George Springer, and I wouldn't be shocked if he hits a home run here. This is somebody who has home run power. He also can get it done stealing bases. With the new rule and the pitchers not being able to throw at these guys a ton, it is giving so many steals up to guys like Springer. I had Bobby Witt Jr. last night, who started off the game with a single, and then he got a stolen base. So I wouldn't be shocked if he just gets on base and starts stealing on this Tigers catcher. So definitely somebody I really like here today. So I'm going to take this over, and I'm going to go down to somebody right here, Christian Yelich. I know he hasn't gone back to his MVP form. He had an okay season last year. He started off the season so far this year playing okay baseball. If you look at his last 5, he had a really great game against St. Louis April 9th, and his last game against the Rockies, or against the Diamondbacks, he had 10 fantasy score. But really love the matchup here. Obviously, we know this Padres team is really good, but this pitcher here in Nick Martinez here today is struggling, just like I said with Spencer. 2 starts so far, giving up 4 runs in each of those games, and really just not pitching the ball well. This this Brewers team is going to need a ton of runs to keep up with the firepower between Soto, between Manny Machado, by Bogarts. I mean, and it's going to start with Yelich. I know he's just not doing the things that he did, but he has stealing upside. He also hits for contact, has that home run upside. So I think there's a lot of potential here in a great matchup. So these are my 2 guys: George Springer over 7.5 fantasy score, and Christian Yelich over 7.5 fantasy score. Take these 2 guys however you would like. 2-pick power. Take a couple guys that you like. Chase that 25x, and we will be back tomorrow for MLB and the final play-in games for the NBA playoffs. So we will catch you tomorrow. Peace.